Grazie per la bellissima presentazione.
Thank you very much for these very kind words.
And in Italian, but it would be too long, so I speak in Italian and I hope you can follow. Come economisti usiamo questa metafora per il sistema.
Economists like to use this metaphor referring to the economic system. It's like a car with two inflated and two deflated wheels. The economic system has two targets: maximum profit of enterprises and the well-being of consumers. These are the two inflated tires. However, if these are the two main targets above anything else, it is clear that the other two targets coincide with the flat tires, and these are the quality and dignity at work and environmental sustainability. In the case of the milk dairy sector, we could also include animal welfare. So the fundamental problem of our economic system today is that of choosing the right route. And we heard a lot of this today. So which are the two factors that can help us in this respect? Risk or venture and sense of life. The lack of social and environmental issues are a big risk, but the risk is invisible. There's a paradox. If I'm successful in keeping a risk factor under control, some people may think that there is no risk at all, and therefore I cannot really spend money to control that given factor. So it's always very difficult to explain to people that a certain risk must be prevented. We know this in Italy today, if you think about the spread going up and down in the last few days. We know that the environmental situation is very, very critical. The problem is more visible in some areas. Lake Garda has a good inflow of water. However, think about the Trasimeno and Bracciano lakes in Italy. These are lakes that suffer significantly. I like this slide because it explains very well the problem we are experiencing today. These are the small islands in the rest of the world, but there are also some lakes that are drying out in other areas. The World Economic Forum tells us that the most important risk factors for the near future, classified as impact likelihood, are social and environmental factors. First of all, the failure of climate change mitigation and adaptation, extreme weather events, man-made environmental catastrophes, food crisis. Managing the risk is therefore fundamental. Of course, the SDGs of the United Nations show that environmental sustainability is very important, and they stress the fact that the approach must come not only from the state and from the market, but from active citizens and responsible companies. So we need 4 partners, and this means that companies must play their role. We're no longer talking about environmental and social responsibility of companies, but also of civil responsibilities. So companies have to work also to change the rules of the game, the legal framework, and responsible production. Point 12 is very important, and point 17 is the partnership for the goals, i.e. the idea that all these players must work together in a synergistic way. So my main message is, in this scenario, corporate social responsibility is not just something good. That certainly helps enriching the quality of life and the sense of life. We do not only talk of happy cows, but also of happy human beings. But it is also the optimal strategy to manage the risk of stakeholders' conflicts. An interesting example from Italy, coming from the steel industry. Think about Westalpine in Linz and Ilva in Italy. They produce steel in cities. One decided to invest in environmental sustainability 10 years ago. Ilva did not do that. Ilva failed, and the other one is now the European leader of the market. So forgetting about social and environmental sustainability will take us to failure. In your industry, this is even more important because the link between environmental sustainability and quality of food, i.e. health of the people, is really impressive. The willingness to pay for health is very high. We've seen many data. Let me focus on one. People love to eat pomegranate juice in Rome. It is almost bitter. It has an astronomical cost. But pomegranate is an antioxidant, an anti-tumoral agent. It's almost like a medicine, and people pay 4 or 5 euros for a glass of pomegranate juice. So willingness to pay. Where will the pressure come from? The willingness to pay of consumers, but significant pressure will be exerted by the rules and regulations that will become stricter and stricter. Also, green social consumption taxes will be introduced, and procurement rules will change as well, with many drivers pushing us towards a given direction. Let me tell you something of finances as well. We know that CSR reporting is increasing. Socially responsible investments are paramount. I work with ethical funds. These funds select, these unit trusts select listed companies to invest on. These are the ones that are above certain social and environmental standards. The most important rating companies today are sustainable ethics, i.e. those companies that tell us about the social and environmental sustainability of a company. So the most important measurement of negative media attention by REPRIX shows the bad things that people claim about companies on social networks or in their blogs. Here we can see some examples of sustainable unit trusts. Recently, we had the Montreal Carbon Pledge. This is an agreement that puts together $10 trillion worth of unit trusts that have decided to measure the carbon footprint of their portfolio and to reduce it progressively. New low-carbon funds are being created, and this is causing a significant pressure on financial markets. Let me give you an example of how funds report. This is our fund. At the end of the year, we tell citizens that our portfolio of assets allows us to invest 30% more in companies that reduce waste compared to the benchmark, 51% more in companies that have targets of emissions reductions, 35% in companies that have initiatives for biodiversity of flora and fauna, 33% more human rights, and 13% equal opportunities. So this is the way how ethical funds today and in the future, I think that also BlackRock has joined the chorus, but there are really many, an example of how funds work in this direction, given the pressure from consumers. On top of this, governments introduce in their own economic and financial plans, this is the Italian one, aspects of sustainability, and this happens in Italy as well. We have targets of sustainability, both social and environmental, and the government has to meet these targets. These targets have been increased from 4 to 12, including life expectancy as well as other social and environmental indicators. Let's have a look at the economic literature to see the most important factors. I mean, it is clear that corporate social responsibility is beautiful and everybody loves it. But as the founder of Asdomart said, corporate social responsibility is beautiful, but must be economically sustainable. So economic sustainability goes through several factors. CSR is not a free lunch. It is expensive. It is expensive to do what we have been talking about, but it can have a
e sulle
beneficial
motivazioni
effect
intrinseche dei dipendenti.
on
Quindi una
productivity
via
and on
attraverso
the
cui
intrinsic
la
motivation of
CSR può incidere
employees.
sono le
So
motivazioni
CSR
intrinseche dei
can affect
dipendenti,
the intrinsic
il salari di
motivation of
efficienza, c'è tutta
employees,
una letteratura su
efficiency,
questa, gift
salaries,
exchange,
gift
scambio di
exchange,
doni, e si
and it can
misura
be
il
measured
fatto che la gente in questi ambienti può
since
essere più
people can be
produttiva.
more
L'altro
productive
tema
in a
importante è quello
better
dei
environment.
consumatori. Questo è un esperimento
Consumers
che noi
also
abbiamo
play a
fatto, che è
very
stato
important
fatto da
role.
dei
This is an
nostri colleghi a New
experiment that some
York,
colleagues
due
made
produttori di
in New
candele,
York.
uno con
Here
un
we have
cartello
two
dove si
candle
parlava appunto della
manufacturers.
sostenibilità del
One
prodotto. Nei 2 mesi
showed this
successivi,
sign
quello a sinistra ha
mentioning the
venduto il
sustainability of the product
40% in più,
and
nonostante che il
managed to
prodotto
sell
costasse di più. Ci
40% more in the
divertiamo
2
come
following
economisti a fare
months,
esperimenti
notwithstanding
per
the fact
vedere,
that those
esperimenti
candles were more
randomizzati
expensive.
per vedere
This is what we like to
quanto
do,
la
us
sostenibilità
economists,
conta. Questo è
to
l'esperimento che ho
find
fatto
out
io
about the real value of
scusate,
sustainability. This is
scusate,
another
in Italia, in
experiment that
Toscana.
I have
Questa è la
made in
classifica di
Tuscany.
Oxfam Behind the Brand, è
This
una
is the
classifica che
behind the
Oxfam ha
brand
fatto dando delle
Oxfam
pagelle alle 10
classification,
maggiori multinazionali
ranking the 10
alimentari
most important
e
multinational food
all'ingresso
companies.
dei supermercati
We
noi abbiamo
decided
messo
to
questo
place this
cartello.
ranking
Qual è
at the
stato
entry of
l'effetto per
supermarkets.
2 mesi? Qual è stato
During the
l'effetto
following
rispetto a un
2
campione di
months,
controllo ovviamente di
compared
supermercati
to
dove non c'era il cartello?
a sample
L'effetto
of
è stato più
supermarkets where no
6% la
sign
quota di
was
mercato
shown.
della
We
top,
could
della
see
prima,
that the first
e
ranking
meno
company had a
15%
plus
la quota di
6%
mercato
market
delle ultime
share
3.
and
Ora,
a
quando
minus
noi parliamo in
15%
economia, i
market
consumatori,
share for the
sapete, nei
last 3
modelli quelli
companies.
naif, Mickey Mouse, si dice che i consumatori perfettamente
There are
informati
no perfectly
vanno a
informed
comprare le cose. Oggi
consumers.
non è
This
assolutamente
is
così, i
not the case
consumatori
today.
conoscono, non
Consumers
sono
are not
perfettamente
perfectly
informati, ma il
informed,
mondo va
but we are
verso la
moving
crescita della
towards
qualità
this
dell'informazione
direction.
dei consumatori,
More
abbiamo parlato delle
information to
etichette,
consumers
eccetera.
with
Cioè i
labels
cittadini
and
vogliono
so on and so
sapere
forth.
sempre di più, in futuro
Citizens
avremo
want to know more and
moltissimi
more, and in the
strumenti di
future we
questo
will
tipo.
have
In
many
Brasile
different
ci
tools.
sono 18
In
milioni di
Brazil, for
consumatori che
instance, there are
vanno tutti i
18
giorni sul
million
sito che si chiama
consumers
Reclama Chi,
visiting
dove
Reclama
esistono dei
Key
rating
website,
sintetici delle aziende, e
providing
questi vengono usati per decidere se l'azienda ha
summaries
reputazione, comprare o
of
no.
the
Questo è
company's
un altro esperimento che abbiamo
ratings,
fatto, Vivi
and
Verde,
consumers
abbiamo
decide
messo il
whether they should buy or
cartello
not from
spiegando
those
una serie di cose
companies.
sui prodotti e abbiamo
Here
visto
you
che
can see another
l'effetto è
sign
molto
that
più forte sui
explains
prodotti dove il legame con la salute è più
about
forte
health
rispetto a quello dove il legame
with
con la
these
salute è
products.
meno
So
forte.
when there is a
E quindi è
closer
interessante
relationship
questo
to
intreccio tra
health,
salute e
consumers buy
ambiente,
more.
è sempre molto
Health
molto
and environment,
importante.
this is a very important connection.
Sul rischio
We have
l'abbiamo
already been
detto,
talking of the risk.
quando Lehman
Well, when
Brothers
Lehman
è
Brothers
fallita, Lehman Brothers
collapsed,
aveva giudizi di rating
their
finanziario
financial
altissimi,
rating
AAA,
ranking
no?
was
Moody e
very
Standard
high,
Poor's.
triple A
Però
with Moody
c'erano,
and
se voi
Standard
andate a
and
guardare i
Poor's.
giudizi di
However,
sostenibilità di rating
the
etico,
sustainability
KLD, erano
ranking
molto
by
bassi,
KLD
sia
was
su
very
product
low,
quality
both
che su
in terms of
governance.
governance
Noi abbiamo
and product
dimostrato che il
quality.
giorno dopo
And
il
the
fallimento di
day
Lehman Brothers
after
c'è stato un calo
Lehman
in borsa
Brothers
molto
bankruptcy,
significativo di tutte le
all
aziende che avevano
companies
quei punteggi
with
bassi
low
sulla
ranking in
responsabilità sociale
terms of
ambientale. In un certo
social and
senso la
environmental
responsabilità sociale
responsibility
ambientale
reduced their value. So this actually was very significant. Let me move forward. This is another very interesting point. This is our database that measures the cost of loans for companies worldwide. It is a sophisticated tool. It is not just the interest rate, it is the commitment fee, the upfront fee, or what is connected to a credit line. So it is interesting to see that considering the different types of credit, country, quality of the company, and so on and so forth. So the low environmental reputation increases significantly the cost of credit. Another point I would like to stress is the following one. These are the companies that, after weighing in many different other variables, but those companies that have a media attention level very high have a lower price-earning ratio. So it is not only consumers that pay attention to many different aspects, but it is a financial market as well that factors in stakeholders' risks, both at the stock exchange market and when providing credit. This is very interesting, and it means that there is one extra benefit in pursuing sustainability. So we've seen the happy cows. Let me tell you something about the happy humans. So which is the deepest reason? I mean, not only for money, but also to spread the goodness of milk. This is something I've heard today. Well, in the end, This was the presentation of the World Happiness Report in Rome 2015. It's a report of the United Nations about happiness worldwide, millions of data from all the countries. And we can now say that there are 6 factors accounting for 3/4 of life satisfaction of people in the different countries. Income and health, freedom of initiative, lack of corruption, and relationship quality and gratuities. So these are the 6 most important factors. If we were to summarize this in one single variable, then I would focus on generativity. Generativity is a term that has been invented by an American psychologist, Mr. Erickson, explaining that this means that if you're happy with your life, if your life is meaningful, this is due to the fact that you probably think that what you do can be useful for somebody else. So generativity ranges from biological generativity, the grandfather taking their grandchildren to school, artistic generativity, the creation of a sustainable company, scientific generativity, and generativity is the real driver, the real drive. So if I increase generativity of consumers and their capability to participate in society, this has a value. Think of IKEA. The IKEA model makes consumers part of generativity. They participate. Or think about self-service farms. You can come and enjoy picking your own fruit. And of course, I also make money as well. So generativity is very, very important. It means desiring, allowing things to come to life, chaperoning. And I mean, markets allow companies to be born and to transfer property whenever necessary, so markets produce generativity. So the sense of social and environmental responsibility is also this, making companies, places rich in generativity and meaning for employees, for instance. And I would like to conclude with 2 sentences that are paramount as far as generativity is concerned. These are actually 2 quotations by an economist, the founder of political economics in Italy, Mr. Genovese, a contemporary of Adam Smith, saying the following: work for your own interest because nobody else can do that for you. So self-interest is very, very important. But please don't cause havoc on the others. If possible, also make the others happy. And in the middle, we have the most important sentence. The more you work to pursue your own interest, the more, unless you're crazy, you have to be virtuous. Think about the risk issue. It is a law of the universe. You can't achieve your own happiness without making other people happy. Simultaneously, the founder of the economic theory in the United Kingdom, John Stuart Mill, wrote, "People looking for happiness as such are not happy, but those who dedicate themselves to the progress of humanity, arts, and other things will find happiness along the way." So my conclusion is that the challenge for all of us is, first of all, to bear in mind the risk factors and the meaning of life, and we have to try to make steps forwards in terms of generativity with companies, with the economic system, bearing in mind that the system is always a little bit unbalanced. It has been built to produce the wellness of consumers and profits, but now there is no balance. And this might cause problems because we have 2 other fundamental issues which are even more important for a happy life. I mean, as consumers, we have the best world possible. We cannot deny that. Think about the digital wealth we have today. I mean, if as a young man I had to buy all what my daughter can have free of cost today, I should have been a billionaire, because you can find so much free of cost in the network. Information, music, you name it. So today we live in a consumer's paradise, but we also have some difficulties regarding the other 2 pillars. So social corporate responsibility today mandates that we're successful with our business, but we cooperate to sort out the existing problems. And I have been comforted in being here today because I've seen that you pay a lot of attention to all this. Thank you very much.
Grazie.
Thank you very much, Professor Becchetti. And with this, we conclude the second session of the morning. We have managed to make up a few minutes, which means that when we resume again at 2:45, we will have to be incredibly punctual. Above, lunch will be served. Please enjoy the cheeses that have been provided by CLAL's sponsors. Thank you very much and enjoy your meal.